So, welcome to Dangerous Knowledge Breaking the Matrix, episode two. What really matters here? So, after 15 years of working with hundreds, maybe a thousand, let's just say a lot of people, you get to see a lot of patterns. And after helping people to dig out of the matrix, though we're not totally out yet, we're working on it. It's like you notice these patterns of what locks people in and what sets them free and what can they do that makes the biggest impact. That's what this is about. What really matters here. This is not beginner's information. This is advanced information for um, I'd say hyper aware, hyper capable people, like most infinite beings who are not unconscious. If you're busy being sheep, this may not be useful to you. If you're busy asking questions and taking apart this reality, let's play. Um, my common disclaimer: never trust any source, including Jaden. What you're getting is my point of view from my experience and my background. It may not be true in your world. Even if it's solidly true in my world, it may not be your truth. So check it, find out what's true for you as you would for any source. Don't trust what I'm saying. Check what I'm saying. About me, basically, I've been working as a researcher here, a matrix researcher. I didn't come thinking that's what I came here for, but it turned into that. uh, Early on, they started attacking me. They may have attacked me more than any other human so far. I don't know. They knew what I was here for even before I knew what I was here for. They kind of made me do this by attacking me so much. It was either die or fight and figure this stuff out. So I decided to get stronger and figure this out, which to me is kind of the bottom line. If you're being terribly challenged here, yeah, those are kind of your choices: to get out or to get stronger, become empowered, and do something about it rather than taking the abuse that they send you. My intention is to provide intel that's been verified, not stuff that I'm kind of just making up off the top of my head, stuff that I've checked with students and clients and have tested for years, um, and stuff that feels like it'd be very valuable. My goal with everything I do is to empower people to be who they came here to be, period. I don't care what it is you're here to do. My goal is to support you to be and do that, whatever that is. And that's the trick, figuring out what that is. So what really matters here, I've listed this in order of importance, which is kind of hard, but there's many things that should be up. But these are my seven or so most powerful things that you could focus on. Number one, and people fight me on this, and I'm just going to spit it out and you do with it what you like. Um, Walk-in bodies the templates have been manipulated, so you don't have enough amino acids getting to your brain, creating the neurochemistry that you require to have your energy system, your emotional system, your relaxation system, and your brain function working optimally. It's deliberate. And many people are like, no, I don't want to take anything. These are like proteins. They're snippets of proteins. Amino acids are like a string of protein. It's a little snippet of that string of protein. And science has figured out a way of fermenting things to generate these proteins that are kind of biocompatible. They're very similar. They're not like a medicine. They're not like a chemical. They're natural in the body. They react naturally in the body. Um, but because you don't have enough, or because many people don't have enough, they have depression, anxiety, unable to relax, stress, just all these horrible symptoms. And if you get on pharmaceuticals, I'm just going to say it flat out. I'm not opposed to pharmaceuticals. I'm opposed to pathetic pharmaceuticals. And the psychotropics that they use to handle brain stuff are pathetic. And they're, um, yeah, if you're on them, get off and get on amino acids and taper off. Don't just stop using them. They're designed to screw with you. So the there are four amino acids that can completely change your life and put things back on track if this is a big deal for you. And I'll show you how to figure out what a big deal is. So there's four categories that I focus on. Dopamine. When you have enough dopamine in your system, you feel energized, upbeat, alert, focused, more extroverted instead of I got to go run in a corner and hide and hope nobody sees me, and confident. I used to be this shy. I can't talk. I don't. I'm afraid of saying anything. I found amino acids, and all of a sudden I'm back to my normal self. They don't make you feel like a superhero. They make you feel like you, the way you're supposed to be. When you don't have enough, depressed, flat, bored, lethargic, low energy is the biggest thing. You just like you don't have enough energy to function. Um, Difficulty focusing, concentrating, slow to wake, slow stamina or low stamina, um, yada yada. It goes on and on. Um, just by taking tyrosine and phenylalanine, it just goes away. Basically, you're providing your brain what it requires to connect all the energy circuits appropriately. Once they're all connected, things work correctly. Yay! So that's what it is. It's just your brain is short of the neurochemicals. When we provide amino acids, body goes, "Oh, I know what to do with that. That goes to the brain." And all of a sudden your energy circuits just turn on. Serotonin is feeling positive, confident, flexible, easygoing, social, again, more extroverted instead of hiding in the closet. Um, if you don't have enough serotonin, you're going to feel negative, critical, pessimistic, worried, automatic negative thoughts, unconfident, self critical, obsessive, perfectionistic, control freak, angry, impatient, fearful, nervous, panicky. The list goes on. Do you recognize any of those? Yeah, if you do, you're just low on L-tryptophan. You take L-tryptophan and everything works normally again. That okay? Um, GABA. If you have difficulty relaxing and body's like vibrating all the time and you always feel edgy, overworked, pressured, deadline, trouble relaxing, feel stiff, uptight, tense, upset, frustrated, uh, feel overwhelmed, like overwhelmed about everything, uh, shaky, weak, um, just don't have enough GABA. When you have enough GABA, you feel relaxed, stress free, content, and calm. Life is way simpler. There are many GABA products out there. Most of them are garbage. They do very little. You need to find a product that has pharma GABA in it. It's produced in a very different way and it's highly effective. It's expensive, but it does the trick. Um, you can also use L-theanine if you want. It's an inexpensive alternative. It's not quite as good as that, but it does work. The last one is for brain issues, poor focus, poor concentration, loss of memory. And I don't mean I can't remember what happened back when I was six memory. I mean, I keep losing my car keys. I don't know where my credit card is, that kind of stuff, day to day, real right here memory stuff. Difficulty remembering names, faces, displacing your keys, wallet, glasses, difficulty finding the right words, a slow confusion, again, introverted, everything. When you don't have enough stuff, your body's like, we don't want to be around anybody because we're not functioning properly. We want to go hide in the corner. Um, but when you do have your brain functioning correctly, you feel, or when you have plenty of acetylcholine, that's that big long word here, acetylcholine or choline source, um, you feel mentally energized, focused, and clear, feeling good, having it together, responsive, like your brain just works. If your brain is like in slow motion or in like sluggish soup, thick, viscous. You get it. It's just missing a neurochemical that makes everything smooth and high functioning. There are one of two, or I alternate, alpha GPC or CDP choline. Both give the brain the neurochemical that you require to do this. So why do I bother to do all this, to say all this stuff? Is if these are missing, you're going to have a ton of interference just by taking these amino acids. You can see the symptoms. Just picture all those symptoms just go away, or 85 to 90% of your symptoms go away. That's what happens. Most of your problems just go away. Um, and serious, like, try it. You have nothing to lose by trying it. Um, it can be, so yeah, I already said that about pharmaceuticals. I have a free diagnostic quiz. I'll put the link down below. Um, Click on that and it will give you questions. And it's like, well, is this an issue for you? Is this an issue for you? It's a symptomatic diagnostic. It's the same ones that professionals use to figure this stuff out to see if you're low in amino acids. And the Western medical system does not do this. They're like, we don't know what amino acids are, but we have some really good pharmaceuticals you can take. Drugs. Yeah, that's what it's about. Don't go to the medical system. Serious. The pharmaceutical system has tried to bury this as best they can, and they've actually done a relatively good job of burying it. It's really simple to fix most things. You don't need meds. But you take this quiz, and if you have like 4 to 5 items in any one category, in any one of those 4 categories that I showed you, it might be useful, it might not. So if your numbers are low, you can maybe ignore this. 6 to 8 items, it'll be useful. You'll feel a difference and it'll make your life better. If you have like more than 9 of these symptoms, and I had like 16 or 18 or 20 in each category, like hardcore, they messed with this body hardcore. Um, it will change your life dramatically. It's huge. So this is not, we're not dealing in subtle things here. It's on my list number one for really powerful reason. If you're in a space where you're trying to clear, if your amino acids are low, clearing lasts for about 20 minutes maybe, and you have to go clear again. When I have amino acids in, I might clear once or twice a day. It's dramatic difference. um, Taking them, um, they only last for about 3 hours. So you can take serotonin, you can take your serotonin and GABA together, wait 10 to 12 minutes, and then take the dopamine. And I just have a timer set on my phone. Every 3 hours or so, it just rings, and I take my next set of amino acids every 3 hours. Before bed, you don't want to take the dopamine because it's energizing. If you have difficulty sleeping at night, you wake up in the middle of the night, take serotonin GABA. Serotonin leads to the brain chemical that melatonin that makes you sleepy. If you don't have enough serotonin, it's hard to be sleepy because your body can't produce that. It doesn't have the raw materials. Like, this is core stuff for a physical body. And GABA is relaxation. If you're having difficulty relaxing, both of those in the evening are a big deal. Um, if this doesn't completely solve your energy depression issues or weird emotional issues, like, you'll notice, worst case scenario, if you do have a hormone issue, so they play with both amino acids and hormones. Amino acids seems to be the big one. For most people, you can get your body back most of the way just with amino acids, even if your hormones are way off. But if you're in a, I would say older body, but even younger bodies can be manipulated in this way, where they've basically turned down your hormones, so you don't have enough. But when you supplement hormones, bam, you're like on the ball, clear, strong, and just everything functions the way it should. You're not going to feel like Wonder Woman. You're going to feel like you high functioning. That's the goal of the amino acids and the hormones if you need them. So start with amino acids. If that doesn't resolve everything, go to hormones. So once you handle this can handle a majority of the interference. Like it just closes the door. And because of that, you need to know interference will do everything in its power to convince you not to do amino acids. Oh, they're too expensive. Oh, it's too much work. Oh, do I have to take a pill every 3 hours? That's just too hard. They will give you every piece of bullshit they can give you to get you to not do this. You'll hear those voices in your head. If you own them and you stop doing it, it's you just suffer more and they enjoy it. And I'll show you more down below why they want you to be suffering more. So, my number one item, check your amino acids and give your body the support it needs. It Not everybody needs it. Maybe 60 to 80% of people who are aware awakening need it, especially if you're in an older body. It check it out. Costs you nothing to take the quiz. Um, so item two, like what really makes a difference here, checking your infinite being embodiment level. So most people they come here with a minimal investment just to kind of pop in and see what is it like, and is this a useful timeline, a useful, like, there are many versions of Earth, there are many versions of reality, and you're probably in more than one of them. In just this Earth project, out there in infinite realms, you're probably involved in 15 to 50 other projects. Like, you can't fit all your infinite being in this physical body. So you just put some of it there. The minimum required is about 2%. And many people start with 2%. And then they get here and they find, man, I can't function. Right. You don't have enough of you here to have the clarity and what you require to actually function. So, what it looks like is when you have 2 to 3% of your infinite being here, this is my experience and what I've noticed from my clients. You feel dysfunctional, powerless. Everything seems hard. Even the simple stuff seems hard. Life sucks. I, there's it just sucks. It's a miserable existence because you don't have enough of you here to have the clarity to function through all the blur and manipulations and distortions that are in this reality. You need to have all of you here. Okay. So if you find that there's any value in this reality, bring in more of you. Or if you can think there's value in, or if you want to survive or function better in this reality, bring in more of you. And it's a choice you choose. And I'll talk a bit more about it. When you have 10 to 14% infinite being, most things seem fairly basic. Life is easy to handle. Life is okay. It's not exciting. It's not huge. You don't feel magical or highly capable. You're functional and you can get by with what you need to do. If you feel like you're just getting by, you may have just a small percentage of you here. You get up into like the 20, 30% range, and basic things are just simple, even magical. You notice you can do some cool little magical things that make life more flow for you. For me, I could start to do more advanced things that I couldn't do even when I had 10 to 15% in. Um, all of a sudden, now that I have 20 to 30%, it's like, ooh, I can do stuff. Like, this is where it starts to get fun. Life starts to get enjoyable at this level. It's good. It's like, yeah, you reach 25 or 35 to 45%, and the things before that you struggled with are so basic you don't even think about them anymore. They're just easy. Um, Advanced things even become easy and life becomes enjoyable. Like, serious, it makes a huge difference. Um, if you bring in more than 60%, which the goal is 100%, honestly, 100%, or as much as you can possibly bring in. Um, when you have that higher level, it like you upgrade, and all of a sudden you're playing at a high level instead of down into the barely functioning level. You're up in the what cool shit can I do today level, right? Like it's a completely different level of fun. um, and life unfolds. It's dynamic. It's more magical, and I love my life when it's like that. Even with interference, I love my life. When I'm here at lower levels with interference, it just sucks and I want to die. If you're in one of these, life just sucks and I want to die. Check truth. What percent is my infinite being? More than 50%? Less than 50%? And just keep more than 75%, less than 75%, more than the other side, less than 25%, more than 25%. Like just start asking questions, or if you're using muscle testing or still using that thing you swing back and forth, pendulum, um, the um, do whatever you have access to right now, even if it's not optimal, and check this on a regular basis. Set an intention to get here to 100%. Um, so some people and are here. Many people are here as what I call a pure infinite being. So it's just you're here representing you, period. You're not part of another organization. You're not part of any other uh, element, cosmic element. Then there are other people who have what I call a special, um, that basically they're here as an infinite being, and they're a representative of some cosmic thing. An example of that could be a representative of a creator, the creator of all that is, or representative of some element of creation, or some uh, planet specialist, or some body specialist, or some uh, energy manipulation specialist. Like you're part you have two hats that you're wearing. So what you're doing is you're getting sourced from your infinite being and this other organization that you represent. You want to max out all of it. Okay. If you stay here a little bit, you're disempowered and it's really challenging to function. um, so um, no matter what you do, bring in the maximum amount of you, the infinite being, that you can. And it makes a world of difference. It's just so you. I've had so many clients who, before they came to me, they were just struggling for years and years and years and years, and then I get them to do some of the basic things here, and life just goes whew, up levels hugely. Um, really makes a difference. So intend, check what percent your infinite being is, and intend, ask questions to bring in more of your infinite being. Let's see what other notes here. uh, so you may have uh, sometimes you can bring in more from your infinite self. Sometimes you bring in from uh, you can have other expressions of you in other realities, and you can feel it. You tap into the other realities, and it's like, yeah, it doesn't feel so useful. And you tap in, it's like you can then ask questions like, what does it create in 20 years if I uh, leave this other aspect of me? Like you might have 15% hanging out in another version of a planet somewhere, and you it's not going to go anywhere. So like check it. Was it great in 20 years if I leave it there? It's great in 20 years if I pull it and move it here, and just pull it. Don't be in that other funky reality. Come into this one, which is more funky maybe, but you need more of you. If you're going to survive, if you're going to stay in this reality, you need to bring in all of you, or you're not going to make it here. Or you're going to be dysfunctional here. Let me say not going to make it isn't accurate. You're going to be dysfunctional here, and it just sucks hardcore sucks. We don't need any of that. Um, and just as a PS, how much are you in your body? How much are you hanging out back from your body? Many people come in and their body's so full of crap that they don't want to get in the body. They're like, I'll just hang out in the backyard. Thank you. Um, and you can't do all the things you need to do if you're hanging out in the backyard. So slowly start moving your way in and clearing out all the garbage that's in the body that has been put there to disempower you. It's not trauma left from previous lifetimes, or it's not trauma left from the fake memories that you receive when you first come here. It's just garbage that is dumped in your system to make your life difficult. If you honor the garbage, you're going to work through it forever and it will not go away because it's not yours. You can't fix what's not yours. It's just junk dumped into your system. Check it. Don't trust me. Check it. Okay. But that's what I've learned. It's just garbage. All of it. The memories, all of it. It's garbage. It's all there to disempower. So, two, most impactful thing, bring in as much of you, the infant being, as you possibly can. Game changer. Complete game changer. Number three, understanding the body being partnership. Most people don't recognize their body. They're just like, this is me. Got bad news for you. There's two of you in there. Well, there's more than two once you get interference involved, but there's you, the infinite being, the spirit, and the physical body that has its own essence. I'm not going to call it a spirit because it's not really a spirit, but it has its own essence. It has its own personality, has its own attitude, separate from you. Most people think this is all, I'm just me, but it blurs things together and you become dysfunctional. So, um, let's put this in here first. Um, to love, honor, cherish till death do you part. Have you heard that phrase before? If you're in a Western culture, that's the wedding vow thing. What if that's not meant for two humans? That's the agreement that you, the infinite being, and your body made with each other to love, honor, and cherish till death do you part. Mm, yeah. Once you start to recognize your body and start to interact with it, a whole new world of things opens up. Let me explain to you why you want to be doing this, why it's number three on my list. What most people think of when they think of having multiple energies in their body, whether it's the body in the being or the body being in some entity or some egregore or demon or whatever the stuff is that you're interacting with, is we think of it as like all these cute little segmented containers of things like, oh, I can easily tell, let's say the blue is me, the being, and red is my body. Okay. We think, oh, they're segmented, they're very easy. No, it looks like this. It's this soup of blur where it's all melded together and you can't even tell what color's what. This is what you feel. Any energy projected into your body mixes in like that, and you think it's part of you. So, most people, most aware beings, have the being, the body, they have two, maybe three entities, and then they have some egregores, which are uh, angels, demons, satanics, alien energies, blah blah blah. That whole list that you may have heard me rattle off before. All those, when anything that's projected into your body, whether it's physically in your body or being synthetically projected into your body, feels like that. And you, as the infinite being, if you're not keen on noticing what is being, what is body, what is this other thing over here, all you know is this blur of things. And you can have egregores come into your body and come in and be very sad, or come in and they'll be like, oh, I want to kill myself, or come in and they're like, oh, I'm the most pathetic, worthless being on the entire planet. and they just sit in your body and radiate that energy, and you think that's you because you're not used to pulling these energies apart, because you think it's like this, but it's actually like this. The, the awareness of who is being, who is body, and who is these other characters here are the only way I know that you're going to survive in this reality. Honestly, because unless you're going to play small and unconscious, which is fine, I'm not making that wrong. That it's a valid path. Um, if that's okay for you, that works. But there are people, and you are probably one of them, who it is not okay to be small. Like it's just you can't. It's just not okay. So being aware of all these discrete energies increases your awareness, increases your perception, and lets you see what's really happening in your body. If you don't understand this, it's one big blur. And you can't become aware when you're functioning as one big blur that is incoherent. It just doesn't work. Um, you are not your body, yet you are. Let me explain. So many things don't make sense without awareness of the body. Practicing, yeah, I already just said this. So when you can see that you're not your body, there's all kinds of things you can do that you couldn't do before. You'll notice there are times when your body is doing things, or your body's being manipulated and you are being manipulated. And if you can't see the difference between those, you don't know how to solve it. You don't know what to do to actually change it, much less to even figure out what's going on. So the first thing is get into a place where you recognize you are not your body. You are an aspect of body. You're hanging out in body. You're perceiving mostly or partially through body, but you are not the physical body. You're the spirit who could go poof anytime you wanted to, for the most part. Um, your body is the part that's going to remain here. Um, when you become aware, it or when you become aware of being body, it also ends loneliness, because body gets lonely by you not acknowledging body, because you're like, well, it's just me. So you feel this lonely thing going on in your body. As soon as you become aware of body, not 100% eliminate, but y- that chronic loneliness just kind of whoosh, goes away, because you're never lonely. It's always you and body. Always. It's never not you and body. Okay, even if body's out to lunch, body's still there. It's you and body. So it lets you manage emotions and clarity. For instance, body can go into fear over something. There are many things that are happening in this world body has no clue to understand, because they're all spirit based energies. All this matrix stuff is all functioning in spirit based frequencies, synthetic, but they're kind of in that realm. And so bodies don't know what to do with most of this stuff. They don't understand it. They kind of get it's a spirit, sort of, but they don't know what to function with. So bodies can be triggered into weird emotions: fear, shame, blame, regret, guilt, whatever, the cornucopia of things. And if you don't know that it's your body, you think it's you. And so you're like, oh, I'm afraid. What can you do then? Not much. But when you can see, oh, am I afraid or is my body afraid? Oh, my body's afraid. Body, what are you afraid of? Relax, calm down. You don't follow body into fear. So it's not body and you radiating fear so interference can come in and have more fun. It's it's you noticing, oh, my body's in fear. Body, what's going on? What are you afraid of? What can I help you with? What needs to change here? What can I clear? Like, what's causing this? You can all of a sudden you can do troubleshooting. When it's just you, when you don't recognize your body, it's one big blur. We're back to that soup again. So it's a huge difference to do that. Um, body is, here's the other downside, or here's the downside of bodies. Body is programmed to feel and act pathetic. If you, so body has tons of fake trauma bonding. And I call it fake because it's synthetic, it's programmed. We've cataloged hundreds of pages of it now, and we know how to get out of, I'm hoping 95% of it now. I think I've gotten most of it. Um, and that programming is designed to disempower your body, to make you think you're powerless, helpless, incapable, unworthy, confused, stupid, total victim. None of it is true. But now picture your bodies radiating these little bits and pieces and chunks of this energy. Oh, I'm incapable. Oh, I'm helpless. Oh, nothing works right in my life. So, bodies being manipulated by interference to radiate these energies, these emotions, and you think it's you. What do you do with that? Now, when you can step when you notice there's me, the infant being in my body, and it's like, well, how much is am I feeling helpless and powerless? How much is my body feeling helpless and powerless? Ooh, okay. You can choose not to own that. You're like, okay, my body can feel afraid, but I don't have to. My body can feel incapable. I don't have to. Helpless, powerless. My body goes through those constantly. Interference will try to tweak body. It's very simple to do. Tweak body. They have a lot of control over your body. A startling amount of control. They just make a little tweak. Your body goes, oh, and then you go, oh, and done. Like, where do you go from there? But when you're separate, you know where to go from there. I'm explaining too much. I'm going to get quicker here. Um, you hold cosmic wisdoms. Your body holds earth-based wisdoms. If you think you're just the infinite being, you don't understand that there's like what your department is. So you'll be looking for, well, why can't I do earth magic? Well, that's body's job. You can do it through body, but it's not you who totally does earth magic. It's something body does. So there's wisdom that your authentic body has that's about the way this reality functioned basically before the matrix took it over. That's where most of the wisdom comes in. Bodies do not understand the matrix crap. It's just a recent thing in the last 50 or so years. So it's not something that they have enough experience with. You the being have more experience with it and can make sense of it and can understand it. So that's more in your field of wisdom. So together, you have a lot of wisdom and a lot of capacity and a lot of magic capable. Like you actually can be when you get all your pieces lined up and you've got superhero stuff going on. I don't mean flying and shooting laser beams out of your eyes, but I mean changing things in physical reality, like real physical change in your reality. You can do epic stuff, but not if you're not aware of the pieces and parts and how they work together and what body's good at, what being's good at. Start paying attention to your physical body. Um, some interference, some things interfere with being, some things with body. I kind of alluded to that before. If being is strong, if you come in as like, yeah, try to mess with me, they're going to go after your body. If you come in as, oh, I don't know what's going on, I'm really pathetic, then they're going to go after you. So they go after the weakest link. And it's many warrior type people, many people who I'm speaking to here know they're a strong infinite being. They're like, yeah, I'm here to do something. I don't know what it is I'm here to do, but I'm here to do something, right? So you like you get that. They're going after your body. If you don't know the difference between you and your body, you don't you think they're going after you, and you can't do so much about it because they're not going after you. They're messing with your body hardcore. So yeah, you need to clear body stuff and your stuff. Body does not do what you do. You have to guide your body. In the beginning, I cleared stuff that was in my way, the being's way, and I got like really clear. But body was like lugging around a 5-year old. Like it was just so clumsy and clunky and dysfunctional. And I realized that I have to clear body separately from being, or I have to do them both at the same time. So it's one of those things where paying attention to your body, there are different things that you need to clear for body than you need to clear for the energetic being. So that's where um, understanding that difference is really critical. Um, Even though you're separate, you are one. You're not really separate, but it's useful to think of yourself as separate. So don't create a separation. Notice what is. So it's a weird thing. It's hard to get it wrong. I think It- you'll figure it out as you go along. But um, your characteristics blend with your body characteristics. As I said in walk-in video or another recent video I did, like your body was designed for you, custom just for you, no other person. That history that you got when you came here, all bullshit. All those memories, all bullshit, or most of it is bullshit. The newer stuff might be more relevant, and it's more complicated how they created that illusion. But um, the if you look at the your body, how do we say it? You can look at your body and find out things about you, and you can look at you and find out things about your body because you resonate together. It's that pot of soup thing. Like you function partially as body. You also function as being. Like what am I trying to say? How do I put it in cleaner words? It's like you're both. You are body and body is you. You can run the body and you know things about the body, but they aren't your things. They're body's things. And body has some idea of your things and what you're capable of doing. And so body, when you start to work with body, body can teach you what your things are or what you need to see about interacting in this reality. If you don't know a difference from that, it's you all alone on your own, unknowing, incapable, unworthy, in all that stuff. And so when you're on a team, you can support each other as a team. And that's actually what's required here. If you're not supporting your body and your body supporting you, you're not going to get to where you want to go. It's required, my interesting point of view. So, number three, understanding that your body and being are separate, and it's a work in progress. It took me years to really understand that. And a newer program I'm developing eventually uh, is going to really show you what those are. Number four, most important thing, know what percent you're in your authentic reality, what percent you're in the synthetic reality. So, this reality is a physical reality with an energetic or multiple energetic realities overlaid or projected on top of it. So, there's the physical earth, the real one, the authentic earth, and then there's multiple synthetic earths that are over the top of that. They don't call them Earth, but whatever. So it's almost like you have multiple overlaid realities existing in the same space, like the old radio stations where you turn the knob and you tune into which one you're looking at. It's kind of that. You can tune into your authentic station, or you can tune into the synthetic one. And when you come here, your your walk-in timeline is created in the authentic reality, but it's been corrupted by synthetics. And you might think that's bad, but it can get far worse. You can be drawn out of that authentic biotic reality into a pure synthetic reality. What that does is it gives interference more access and more control because you're no longer in the real world. You're in a synthetic version of the world. It's kind of like you moved into someone else's community that they have iron fist control over versus the authentic open community. So you want to know how much are you in your authentic reality, how much are you in a synthetic reality. When you have weird stuff going on, do I have that list here somewhere? How you know your synthetic reality, when you have things happening that shouldn't be happening, like you just get this feeling, it's like, no, this is not right, that this should not be happening. Like, no, this is not right. You're in synthetic reality. You're right. It should not be happening. But when you're in synthetic reality, the rules are different. The reality is different. The Your capacity to create and function in that reality are highly reduced. Um, if you feel like life feels off and not right, like something's not right about my life, you're in a synthetic reality. If you have less control over your life than you think you should have, you're like, something's not, like, I should be able to do more. Why can't I do this? Whether you've done it before and now you can't, or you just have never been able to do it, that could be an indicator of being in a synthetic reality. So it's truth. How much am I in my authentic biotic reality? How much am I in a synthetic reality? And then figuring out, like, what percent am I in this? And the way I do it again is the way, is it, so am I more than 50% in my authentic biotic or less than 50%? And you see which one of those is lighter. Let's say it's less than. So am I more than 25%? Am I less than 25%? See which is lighter, and just keep narrowing it down till you get a sense of what range you're in. You want to be 100% authentic reality. And I'll explain more why. so, so that's one manipulation they can do. They can lure you out of your reality into synthetic reality. They can do that um, in a variety of ways. Yeah, I can't go deep into it. It's a really deep, rich topic, but check that. So authentic timeline versus synthetic timeline, same deal, more tangly. So this can be done by, like, some pharmaceuticals will take you into synthetic reality. Not having your amino acids will definitely take you into synthetic reality. Hearing alien voices in your head, things talking to you, um, and like that kind of stuff, that's low dopamine. And low dopamine will put you in a synthetic reality because you're not anchored in the physical reality energetically. You're energetically kind of wild and floating around. If your world feels buzzy, there's synthetics involved in some way, shape, or form, like that electrical buzz kind of feeling, or high pitched frequency. Some of it can be the ear thing, but it can also be interference. It can be an indicator of being in synthetic reality. So, and this one can be just clearing. What is all the uh, what's my clearing statement for that? What is everything? Hook, spines, anchors, attaches, connects, inserts, injects synthetic universes, reality simulations, virtual reality worlds, we can sometimes just clear that or take your amino acid if that's what's doing it. Um, if you're on a pharmaceutical that's doing it, you want to get off that pharmaceutical, because uh, you can't function in your natural reality with that drug in your system. So deeper than that, but also significant, is truth. What percent are you in your authentic timeline? What percent are you in a synthetic timeline? So this the number four here is kind of a shallower, simpler thing. This is a deeper thing. So your authentic timeline, you have up to like 68% free will the average person has. So we're not in 100% free will reality anymore. This is a reduced version of it. The highest I've ever seen is 68. I'm not saying that's the ceiling, but that's the highest I've perceived so far. um, when because the matrix is involved, it just is participating in all those things. So when you're in your normal timeline, you have a fair amount of free will and capacity with that timeline. Interference is still participating in it, but you have dominance in that. If what they can do is draw you into synthetic timeline, often using your npc memories. So if you have, so those all those memories you were handed when you first walked in of your supposed childhood, your supposed teenage, your young adult, all the tangly relationships, all the fucked up parent stuff, all the bizarro stuff, fabricated. But if you attach to those, if you're like, yes, that's my life, and you try to make that real and true, some people will do that through their career. Like you can have a career that's NPC career. It's not your career. It's a career you were given when you walked in, and that's another conversation. It gets very complicated. But so if you own those stories from your past really solidly. Like if you're a parent and you had kids in those stories, they're not really your kids. Sorry. That's a hard one to deal with. I admit it. It's a hard one to deal with. Um, but the faster that you can get to that point, if you own those stories belong to another timeline. They belong to an NPC that lived that life, not you. So it's somebody else's timeline. You're basically leaving your authentic walk in timeline and moving into the NPC's timeline that is now owned 100% by interference. So you're basically leaving your reality where you have 68% free will and moving into reality where it can be as low as like 10% free will. So if you're in a reality where you don't seem to have a lot of control or free will, you check your timeline. How much are you in an authentic timeline? How much are you in a synthetic timeline? Huge, huge. We just recently figured out the timeline thing. I've known about this one for a decade or so, but this one, that's new for me to figure out. Free will. I want to get more in depth about free will a little bit. It's kind of my quick overview of free will. Um, I indicated the max that I've seen is 68. I'm still aiming for higher than that. I want 100% free will. I choose 100% free will. What awareness, energy, and frequency can I be to embody 100% free will in my sovereign reality and receive? Right? Like it's a focus. I choose that. Work in progress. Um, so the physical natural reality here is a mostly free will reality. As a result of that, interference gives you illusions or the illusion of a benefit to something when it's actually a trap. The most obvious and common one is some angel egregore will come up and go, "Oh, dear, let me help you. I will assist you." And you're like, "Oh, thank you, angel. I feel so grateful right now. Oh, it's so." You have just bonded to them. their family, and their family and their God. Angels are owned by archangels who are owned by gods. And on that same team are demons and devils and she devils and Lucifers and Satans and all the happy cornucopia of energies. And I'm just using Christianity terms. You can go into the jinn, you can go into, and any of the religions have these descriptions, the core religions. Um, so it's like you think that you're interacting with some angel, but you're signing up to a harvesting system. They send you these illusions of, oh, I got this white light coming through my body and it filled me up. It's interference. That white light is an illusion. They're currently downloading limitation and installing their presence more in your world. You might feel great for an hour or two. Come tomorrow, you're going to feel like shit and you're not going to know why. It was that light thing that you accepted into your body. They do this a ton because when you're in your free will reality, they can't force you to do what they need until they can bait you into a synthetic reality or bait you into accepting limitation in your world. So they're constantly baiting you to accept limitation in your world, inserting ideas, thoughts of like, oh, you should do this. This will help you out. And you're like, wow, thank you, Spirit. Thank you for telling me that. And they're like, no problem. Cha-ching. You just signed up for their system. It's like somebody coming, you're stopped at a traffic light and somebody comes to wash your window. They're not doing it out of the kindness of their heart. They want money from you. Same. This is a hard one to swallow for people who are divine focused, angel focused. It's a trap. The other side of angels are demons. Angel, demon, same thing, two faces of the same thing. If you don't believe me, check. Pick any of your favorite angel and go 4, 5, 6, 7 layers back behind. Picture the angel that you communicate with and who are what's behind and controlling them, behind and controlling them, behind and controlling them, behind controlling them. Behind. It gets darker and darker and darker and darker and darker. It is not what it appears to be. They use they use manipulation to trap you into or to bait you into signing up for something, going, yes, I want to participate in that. And once you've signed up, then you see what it's really about. I'm just warning you. You'll figure it out if you haven't already. This reality, that's how interference functions in this reality. Any energy here that offers you something does so in exchange for something that you likely don't fully understand. I call it a honeypot trap. They give you a pretty thing, and once you taste from that pretty thing, you've signed up for the darker agenda that's behind that. Deception is integrated into this reality now. It is the interference is so overlaid, animals even run deception with each other. That is not the way it used to be. If you remember the way animals were here, that is not at all the way it used to be. You watch animal documentaries now, you're like, man, that is not what I remember. No, it is not. It has changed. So that same deception thing is overlaid in this, saturated in this reality. So if you feel that your free will is low, it's often the product of some illusion you've accepted or caused you to believe something limiting. Um, this phrase, your beliefs create your reality, not totally true. Kind of pisses me off because they make you think that. They teach you that, oh, yes, your beliefs create your reality. See, you're just thinking bad thoughts. Bullshit. You're in a reality that you don't totally control, and other energies are in there messing about too. So your beliefs partially create your reality. You are co-creating with the interference here, whether you like it or not, until you can get out of it and get to sovereignty, which is what I'm aiming for. I'd like to think I'm getting there, but I'm not there yet. So, work in progress. So it's easy to think that you're the cause of the problem. You are not the cause of mo- excuse me, most of the problems you find in your world. You did not source them. If you want to check it, check how much did I source this? How much did someone or something else source this? It's always someone or something else for the most part, unless you obviously did it. But if you obviously did it, you wouldn't be checking because you know you did it, right? Like, hello. Um, so your beliefs are one element of what creates your reality. Interference also creates in this reality and in your reality. And the more you're in synthetic, the more access they have to create in your reality. The less dopamine you have, the more access they have to create in your reality. So even if you don't believe in interference, you're like, no, none of that is true. This whole reality is beautiful and magical and full of angels, and everything's working to my side. You've met people like that, right? And they tell a really pretty story. Their words are really pretty. When you look at their life, they're suffering, they're struggling, they're not comfortable. Why? Because when you don't believe in interference, they can still fuck with you. It doesn't change their capacity to mess with you. It just puts blinders on you so you can't tell they're messing with you. And when you can't tell and it's just you, who else do you blame? It's your fault. You did it. You screwed it up. You made this wrong. You created this messy thing in the life. And you'll notice that always feels heavy because it's always a lie. You did not create the negative things in your reality. Interference created the negative things. At your nature, your core of who you are is a positive creator. You don't create negative things. It's just not your deal. When you're having negative stuff in your reality, you have interference co creating or messing about in your reality, manipulating you to create negative things. Are you a co creator in that? Yeah, sorry. Until you can see what that interference is and not buy its bait or its stories or its illusions, you're a co-creator with them and you're co-creating it, but you're not sourcing it. It's not your idea, it's not your mistake. It's interference manipulating you and pulling you to that space. And so if you find yourself blaming yourself, it's a lie. Notice it almost always feels heavy when you blame yourself. I can't believe I did that. I was so stupid. What if you didn't do that? And what if you weren't stupid? Unaware, maybe. Stupid? No. Okay. So, not believing in interference doesn't make them go away. It just means that you can't see them. Not useful. My interesting point of view, not useful. You want to be able to see who's participating, who you're co creating with. Like, picture being in a world where most of your co creations are with interference, but you don't know they're there. How, how can you function that way? Well, it's not pretty. You blame yourself a lot and you make yourself wrong a lot. Um, so knowing in clarity, the last thing about free will is knowing in clarity gives you the power to see what's true and choose differently using your free will. Not knowing, which is what the Matrix prefers, causes you to remain a victim to things you don't understand. And you can't change it until you can perceive what is true. I'm in a place where I don't care what's true. I have no attachment to it needs to be this way or it needs to be this way or it needs to be that way. I don't care what's true. I just want to know what is true. I want to see what's true 100%. I want to see through all the illusions. I want to see through all the interference. I want to know what is true. Why? Because from that space, I can use my free will and my potency and my creative capacity to change it. If I don't know what's going on, I blame myself and there's nowhere to go. Because if I try to fix me, I can't fix me because I'm not the one who did it. I'm not broken. It's the interference that did it. So I'm blaming myself and I'm trying to correct it in me. It's it it's uncorrectable. All you can do is see what's true and then interact with it from the space of truth and awareness. So seeing interference is way more useful than blinders on. Oh, I don't know. Everything here is beautiful. False light. It's synthetic. It's totally synthetic. Um, Last topic, at least I think it's my last topic, yes, is your creator being who is constantly creating. Every waking moment, every thought you have, every word you speak, every action you take, everything you be and do is creative. Some things create little bits, something creates bigger bits. When you consciously choose it, it does bigger bits, especially if if you've got your maximum infinite being here, you're in your authentic reality, your authentic walk-in timeline. You're not in a synthetic timeline. You're in your authentic energy and you're maxing out your free will. You can kick ass. You can create some really, really potent things. When you're not in those, not so much. You have less capacity. So, but you're always creating, regardless of whether you're strong and clear or you're unconscious. So, what the interference tries to do here, interference can't use positive creations. The frequency of positivity is toxic to them. They're an inverse of that. They're a negative creation. Interference is like a negative reality, or an inverted reality. So they function from negative energies. So, and they're not creators. The gods that are here, they are not creators. They did not create this world. Sorry. The aliens who are here that say that we're the parent race, sorry. Bullshit. All story, all garbage. They did not. You are a creator. This world is created more by people like you. You may have even had a hand in co creating the original Earth, which is why you might be here partially because you were involved in the original project. And you're like, what the hell is going on down there now? So you came to take a look and you're like, oh, what happened? It's way weird. Okay. Um, so you're constantly creating. When you're in a positive space, you create positive energies that you can use and that go where you want them to go for the reality you want. When you're in a negative space, you're in fear, you're in blame, you're in self-judgment, you're in any one of those numerous things that this reality loves you to be in. You're creating negative energy. The matrix can take that negative energy and they can repurpose that. Much of the harvesting, energy harvesting, comes through negative energy creation. So what they're doing, well, it's like, why would they bother to harass you? Good question. You're a creator. They know that. You're constantly creating. They know that. They don't know how to do what you do. So what they do is they manipulate you to create energies that they can utilize to create a negative reality. And you can see that negative reality unfolding around you. Just turn on the news and you'll see, you don't even have to turn on the news, right? Like you see that's that those negative creations become repurposed and the matrix can use those. So why does any of this matter? How much are you focusing your intention, awareness, perception to create the generative, creative reality that you would prefer? How much are you sourcing your reality? How much are you creating for interference to use by reacting, creating negative things, and feeding interference? So it's it's a really deep conversation, and it's easy to make yourself wrong here. But why I want to bring this up is when you get what's going on, all you have to do is start to make a shift in the way you interact in your world. And it's like, I refuse to go negative. I refuse to go into fear. I refuse to go into blame, shame, regret, doubt. No, I am not going there. Do I accidentally from time to time? Yeah, I do. But as soon as I catch it, boom, gone. I refuse to go there. Even if my body's holding that, I will not create that with my body. I will stand outside of that. I'm not going to create in a negative space. That choice makes a big difference because you're no longer creating against yourself. Now, can you clear that? Yes, absolutely. You can clear all what are all the negative creations? I like if you've got something that you accidentally did hyper focus negativity around, you can create what is all the negative energies I put towards this, destroy and create all that. You can clear that. That's not a problem. But just be aware that you are constantly creating. What you want to do is you want to shift your mindset into how can I create a generative, constructive, sovereign, empowering reality that serves me and what I'm here to be and do. Ooh, ooh. You feel the difference there. Okay. So that's what I call sourcing your own reality. And I'm not doing this to plug this program. I'm doing this to say if you I recommend that everybody figure out how to do this. You figure it out on your way, take another program that teaches you actual truth, and I don't know too many of them that do that. Or this program does an epic job of showing you how to do that. Again, I'm not trying to sell it. I'm just saying be aware that you're constantly creating and do shift things that you are creating the reality you prefer. Most people are living in a reality that they didn't create. And so you're a victim in your world. And not only does it feel like shit, but you're creating negativity and you're not getting closer to being you because you're creating in a world or reality that someone else controls. You don't control it. All these things up here were about getting to a space where you can control your world, your reality, and create the reality you prefer. That's the core that I'm looking for. Interference is constantly trying to get you to create for their agenda. Anything that you feel that pushes you to negative is trying to get you to create. Why do they want, what's the value in you being in fear, or you putting yourself down all the time, or you thinking you're a pathetic piece of garbage? Like, what's the benefit of that? You create negative energies constantly. You're not creating your world, you're creating a synthetic world that you don't prefer. But what you want is to be in a world that you do prefer. How do you do that? That's what you want to focus on. Number 7, after you've handled the things up there. Because if you haven't looked at those things, uh, okay. So this sounds oversimplified, but it is scary true. When you feel good, you're being authentic you and you're creating for you. When you feel funky, bad, negative, down, depressed, it's interference manipulating in your world. And often what you're doing is you're creating for interference. It can be a simple people ask me, well, how do I know if I have interference in my world when I don't see them or I haven't done this work or haven't studied this? Do you feel good or do you feel like crappy? The if you feel good, mostly or all the time, you don't need any of this stuff. You're already doing it. Like you're in your reality and interference is not participating. When you feel crappy and funky or bad or negative, that's not you causing that. That's not you sourcing that. That's interference in your world messing with either something in you, which is usually mental, your beliefs, your thoughts about things, or functioning with body, manipulating emotions or altering uh, patterns in your body to create negative energies in your body. And so your body feels crappy. You follow your body into feeling crappy, and now you both feel crappy. Now you create negative because you're both feeling crappy. You're not the cause of that. Interference is the cause of that. But if you don't know that interference is there, you're going to blame yourself for it, which makes you feel even more crappy, right? Like it's a downhill slide. And how do you get out of that? Become aware that interference, you are co creating with interference here. Like it or not, I don't care who you are. My interesting point of view is everybody is co-creating with interference here, and you can see it in the physical reality. You look at the corporations, the governments, the the various different organizations that are like distorted, and you look at them, you're like, well, how can they do that? How can they be that way? How can they be so heartless? How can they be creating toxic chemicals and putting into the food and saying it's fine? How can they be that way? That's interference. You're watching interference around you participating. It's not just you, it's everything in this reality. It's not a personal thing. Don't take any of this personally. Um, so authentic being and body are motivated by easy, light desire. So and people will ask me, how do I know when I'm creating for me? How do I know when I'm creating for interference? It's actually kind of simple. Interference motivates through pressure or driving. If you hear in your head, I want to do this, that's authentic. If you hear, I need to do this, or I must do this, or it's important that I do that, or if I don't do this, then all these bad things will happen, that's interference pushing you to create it. You create through flow, through ease, through play, through delight. That's the way you be. That is your essence. That's the way you natively express yourself when interference isn't around. So when you're like, it'd be really fun to go do this. Do I have to do that? No, but it'd just be fun to do that. That's going to be highly creative for you. When you're like, no, I just have to push through. I just have to. If I sit down and I force myself to do this, I know I can get there. Always interference. You're not creating for you anymore. You're creating negativity for interference. What you create is not going to go where you want it to go because you're not creating from you. You're creating from negative inspiration or interference that's driving or unconsciously nudging you in that direction without your awareness. And so it's easy to notice, do I need to do this, or would it be fun to do this? So that's a really powerful bottom line way of seeing, who am I creating for? Am I creating for me and it's fun and it's easy and it's play? And so it's where I ask, it's like, well, what would it be fun to do today? Would it be fun to record a video today? Yeah, it'd be fun to record a video today. Well, then there's value in it. If I'm like, no, I need to do this video today. I have to record this video. It's not going to come out good. It's something is going to be wonky in there and it's not going to have the impact that I want it to have because I'm allowing interference to sponsor that activity or co-create in that activity so they have access and they're participating and it's not going to flow in the same way. So again, these are all this is all very surface. This all goes way deeper. Any of these topics goes way deeper than what I've shared. But I, these are my seventh item is you're a creator being, you're always creating. Learn how to create in a positive way, and you're going to reach your goal and your target faster and easier than you would if you're creating by force or by driving, like, oh, I have to do this, I'm just going to show up day after day and I'm going to push myself and I'm going to make this happen. You're going to create garbage because that's negative, that's interference pushing your creations along. So that's the, I did it again. I didn't make it so I can see it. Um, maybe I can do it from here. Let's see if that does weird things. Oh, I can do it from here. Yay. Okay. So future videos, let me know which you're interested in finding out more about. Leave a comment down below if you want more deep about this or about any topic. Just let me know topics. Things on my list are core interference strategies here. It's just, it's such a huge list. I'm not sure how to manage that yet. And how to manage. And then advanced interference strategies, what they do with high level people. Or there's stuff for beginners who are more or less unaware and more or less incapable, and they use one set of things. And then there are the higher level things for people who are more capable and more aware, and I'm more inclined to want to address those because you're one of those people. If you're watching this video, you need to understand what their patterns are. Once you start to see what their MO is, what their strategies are, you begin to recognize it in your life, and you're like, gotcha, I'm not choosing that shit, because you can see it. Like, it's really obvious when you know. When you don't know, it's all just one big blur, one big fog, and you can't make sense of anything. You need to get out of that. You need to get to a place where you can clearly see all the detail of what's going on. I'm I'm in that mode to keep talking, so I'm going to wrap up. So Core Advance, how the sponsor system works, um, the detail about like what this sponsor thing is and how it connects and how you can use it to create separation between you and the matrix, and even how you can use it to start dismantling whole big sections of the matrix. So what topics do you want to know about? Leave a comment down below. If this topic feels exciting, rich, if you're like, wow, finally somebody's doing, I need to hear this stuff. You're my peeps. uh, you're welcome to sign up on this list. It's not sales thing. Occasionally I might send out, like every so often I get these ideas like, what if I send out advanced information to people that is going to really kick the matrix's ass hardcore? And I'm that's kind of my tempting, is just to kind of dump some high level things out now and then. I don't know if I'll ever do that. It's just so. It, if you're interested, feel free to sign up. But again, I'm not going to use that for promotion. That's just every so often I'll share things. This slideshow, or this is a PDF actually. um, this will be there'll also be a link down below so that you can download this PDF if you want, because I know it's a lot of stuff, a lot of content. So thank you all for coming and hanging and listening and participating. Um, Overall, this is a reality of illusion. And if you're looking around the reality going, no, it all looks really real and really true to me, you're in the illusion. Sorry. You want to start to see through the illusions and through the lies, and this reality's full of them. I'm not going to keep going deeper. So thank you all. We'll catch you in the next video. Bye.